Anyway, guys, so we have like a guest today. So this is John Lucas, and he's from 5-1 Talk. So he's going to be talking about some of the techniques that he uses in his classroom. I actually saw him on Instagram. I've been seeing his posts and news feeds on Instagram, and I was like, man, this dude is like really cool. Like he has like a very unique teaching technique, very different. I guess like very different from the techniques that I use because I'm crazy. I'm crazy in the classroom, but he has a lot of like props, and he's so energetic. So, John, so go ahead and say hello to everybody. We have about 25 people watching at the moment. And
Hello to the 25 people that I cannot see right now. Yeah. Thank you for dropping by.
Okay, so John, so why don't we begin with your introduction? Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming an ESL teacher.
Okay, wait. I'll just open my script. Just kidding. Okay, yes. So yes, I'm teacher John Lucas, and I've been teaching online since the beginning with 5-1 Talk. I've been teaching online for 2 years and maybe 2 years and 3 months, I think. Yeah.
2 years and 3 months. So Catherine, 2 years and 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Yeah, so 2 years and 3 months. What else? My journey.
Mm-hmm.
How did
you become an ESL teacher?
I learned this from my best friend. I've known him for half of my life, and I usually hang out in his house because I'm also friends with his brothers. So when I go to his house, we play NBA 2K, we watch basketball. We love basketball. Yeah, and every time I go there, I see him in the corner teaching. So yeah, that caused some curiosity out of me because I also like teaching, but not teaching kids.
Right.
Because my background is I come from the multimedia industry. I do some little directing, video editing, animation, graphic design, and what do you call this? And before I've been invited to some companies to train employees to do some video editing and basic animation.
Oh, okay.
I think even script writing and those kind of stuff. So I've been able to use those skills to sell myself online.
That sounds kind of weird. Sell myself. Hi, Joelle. Somebody's asking what's on your head. That's his real hair, dude. Anthony. Yeah. That's his real hair.
I use a special
he was born with green hair.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't have wigs, but I do know like some consultants who uses they use wigs too. I just don't have it. I use like different headbands and stuff. Okay, so basically in your case you were kind of just like curious, but you come from a multimedia background and stuff like that. I was going to say because when you showed me by the way guys, he made the poster that I posted yesterday. I'm not like his skills are like really good. That's why I was like, should I make the cover photo? Because when I saw his posters, I was kind of like, maybe you should do it.
Well, that wasn't a problem.
About 30 people watching now. We've got 30 people watching.
Hello, 30 people.
Excellent. All right. So, do you only teach for 5-1 Talk, or do you teach for other companies as well?
I only teach for 5-1 Talk. So this is my first.
What do you like about the company?
What do I like about the company? Well, I'm really not familiar about the online ESL world before joining this one. I was just looking for an extra income besides doing some, because I'm a freelance director, freelance video editor, etc. So
do you make videos and stuff? Like you make movies?
Yeah, actually, I've posted a couple of short films online. Sure. If I go to New York, right?
I live in New York. Does anybody want to be part of this like movie? I'm like looking at comments. Hi, Yolanda. So if anybody wants to be part of this movie, message John Lucas.
Yeah, I've done different types of short films: action, horror, romantic comedy.
Nice.
What else? Yeah, those are the top.
I love horror.
Horror.
Now, so okay, so you teach for 5-1 Talk. So you've been working for 5-1 Talk for 2 years and 3 months, right? So what are like the pros and cons of being an online teacher?
What are the pros and cons? Well, the pros compared to brick and mortar, right?
Well, yeah, like brick and mortar, like traditional jobs, basically.
Let me start with the cons first, because the pros are basically the same. It's like the joy you get from seeing your students grow. That's the greatest joy I think it could bring. The cons probably is the burnout.
Yeah.
Burning out, because we're like stuck in one place. We're just at home for 7 days a week. And some teachers like 12 to 15 hours a day. So I think that's the con. And the way to fix that could be expensive, because you should go on a vacation, you should go on a day off.
Ron says, you know what, Lucas TPR is really amazing. I hope I have the same humor like him. Haha.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Where do you get the energy?
Where do I get the energy? Actually, believe it or not, I'm always dead tired after a day of classes. But I created a reputation for the students that they will be expecting you to deliver a great class. So I can't, if I do a half-baked class.
Yeah.
They will notice it. So
exactly.
I gotta.
They kind of know you as Teacher John Lucas, like the crazy fun teacher. So even though you're tired, you kind of just have to act, right, Ron? Yeah. That's what you need to do, Ron. You gotta act.
Yeah,
we're all actors. We're teachers and actors at the same time. You can put that in your resume. Teacher, actor.
Yes, we are. I don't know if you've heard or if you've seen it. I created I'm more than a teacher, right? I'm not sure
what is that? More than a teacher. What is that? It's like a series.
It's like a movement. It's a 30-second ad saying how am I more than a teacher.
Nice. We're gonna check it out. So we have Keisha, Ryan, and Christina. Hey guys.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep
Excellent.
The questions coming.
Yep. I'm going to be asking a bunch of questions too. Now, I know, like, of course, do you recruit for 5-1 Talk as well, or do you just teach?
I also recruit, but I also recruit, but I am not that aggressive in recruiting. I also made some like funny ads to recruit. But
Got it.
if you want to join, then join. I'm not forcing anyone. There's the referral link.
So I know you mentioned that. Now, like right now, 5-1 Talk is kind of like focusing on Filipino teachers. So how about if we have like applicants from other countries? Can they apply as well?
Oh, sure, no problem with that.
Excellent. So Alex, he said yes. Alex.
Yes, so just apply. It doesn't matter where you're from.
You have your link, right? You have your link. I'm gonna post his link as well. Hi, Valencia. So Alex, I'm gonna send you his link. I'm just reading messages here.
Yeah, he can send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. That crazy fun teacher.
That crazy fun teacher on Facebook. Alex, you can send him a message. Okay, what's going on with the hair? Because somebody's asking about your wig. So do you use it for classes?
Yeah. Yes, I do. This isn't my only wig. I have like almost 30 wigs.
30 wigs? Let me see.
The other one is in the other corner. I have some wigs here, around 6 or 8.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Do you want to see it?
Yes. Okay. We all want to see it.
Okay, I'll grab it real quick. So here are my wigs.
Oh my gosh, guys, look!
Yeah. So this is not even.
How do you decide? Like what got you into like wearing wigs for classes?
There's a reason for wearing this specific wig, because this wig I've had it for I've had it since I was in grades 6th grade, I think.
6? How old are you?
Right now?
Yeah.
Or when I was in 6th grade. Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I am years old.
How old?
I am years old.
Oh man. Okay, so
30, I'm 33.
I'm older than you though. I feel old.
Doesn't look like it. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
You're being nice.
So this was my wig for Halloween when I was in 6th grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And after that, so this wig has been in a box in a storage
I'm surprised
room
you
somewhere
kept it.
ever since. Yeah, because when I was about to have my final demo, I suddenly, just thought of, hey, why not wear a wig just to be different?
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I did, and when I entered because we do our demos on Skype, and when I entered the room, the room, the evaluator was like,
it's kind of different, right?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, I had the demo with the
They had
trainer.
to
I had the
evaluate.
demo
Wow.
with the Chinese evaluator, and all of them were like, "Oh, okay." The most quiet guy in the training is the craziest looking. So yeah, that's basically how I started with.
I like you. I like your style. Like I've never really done something like this. Like I've never worn a wig, but I've worn like headbands and stuff, like crazy headbands and stuff like that. It's just that because I don't own a wig, but I do know some consultants who do it. They have like different colored wigs, and I think it's kind of different. And all teachers, we all have different techniques when it comes to like keep our students, engaged. How do we catch their attention? So we have a message from Ron. He said, got really interested to question why Lucas stayed in 5-1 Talk knowing that there are many ESL companies who might offer higher pay than the yellow one. Because I've been teaching at 5-1 Talk as a senior teacher. Okay, that's a good question.
He is a former? Is he a former?
He used to. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Well, why did I stay, or why am I still here? Because there's a loyalty with the company already, so it doesn't matter. The pay doesn't matter, and I've really built some great relationships already with my students.
With your students, got it. Yeah. So there you go, Ron. Judy, can a non-native speaker apply in 5-1 Talk? How much is the rate? You can message John Lucas.
Yeah, when it comes
he can
to
tell
rates.
you the information. Yeah, we kind of don't talk about the base rates, but I wear this when I teach. So it has like the iTutor Group logo. I just purchased this from Vistaprint, but we normally have to wear like a red polo shirt, just like you guys. You wear a yellow polo shirt. Jassy. Hi, Jassy.
I had my shirts. I also printed some shirts. I completed the colors of the rainbow plus white and black. Yeah.
Can you wear it for teaching, or are you guys only allowed to wear yellow?
Well, I've been doing that since the beginning.
They haven't said anything? Yeah. I guess you guys don't have a uniform, right? Okay.
Well, not really. If you're not going to wear this, then just wear something decent, right?
Right.
Something
like no
with
sleeveless, no tank. I was gonna say no tank tops. It needs to have sleeves, guys. You're still teaching. They could still see half of you. Since we already discussed about your props, your wigs. What are some of the other techniques that you employ in your classroom? So let's begin with. So of course we're gonna break it down into different levels. So we're gonna do beginners, intermediate, and advanced level students. But before we do this, guys, just remember when it comes to levels, it has nothing to do with the age of the student. Okay, it has nothing to do with the age. It has something to do with the amount of months and years that they've been learning English. You could have a 35-year-old student at the beginner stage, or you can even have like a 7-year-old student at the advanced stage.
Level 16.
Okay. Somebody asked. Okay. And John, are you single? Girl, you are thirsty.
Are you from 5-1 Talk?
She's not. Wait a minute. And you are funny. She said, John, are you single?
So I'm sorry, that's not related to teaching.
She doesn't want to answer, Anne. I'm sorry. Girl, you're thirsty, girl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add you on Facebook, Anne. I like that.
All righty.
Oh my God. Okay.
Someone sent me a message. Alex?
That's Alex? Okay. Okay, there you go. Alex.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, you can do it later. Right, Alex? All right. My gosh. And you're funny. Okay. And been watching his videos every night, doing
Every
some
night?
black magic. And what is going on here, Anne?
Black magic?
What is going on?
I do magic tricks, but I don't do black magic.
Have you been, guys, have you been following John? By the way, John, before we move on to those questions, go ahead and give them your social media handles so they know who to follow, what to follow.
Well, for Facebook, it's facebook.com/thatcrazyfunteacher.
Mm-hmm.
And on Instagram, @thatcrazyfunteacher. Yes. And on YouTube, my main thing is youtube.com/thatcrazyfunteacher.
Perfect.
Yes, so everything is the same.
Trying to see if I could. Evangeline Han says, today I had an 8-year-old who was level 12. She has taken 2,000 sessions and she was bouncing all over the place and told me she had already done that lesson. We accomplished nada in the class. Besides some games, I was a babysitter for 45 minutes. How would you handle that situation? If, let's say, for example, the student is kind of just like, rambunctious, and you've done the class, or the student probably, has done the class, so just wouldn't listen. Like, how would you catch their attention?
What I do is, it's like I make them feel my presence all at once. It's like I'm the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, sit down and listen to me and let me make you laugh, something like that.
Right.
So, after that, I can play with them. With my
how do you do it? Like, how do you show them that you're boss?
I make them feel that they're in for a different type of class.
Got it.
How can I?
First lesson with Evangeline. Do you show them like your wigs and be like?
Yeah. Some of them will be like, their face will be like, oh.
Do you wear your wigs for like teenagers, like older students, or do you just like go as yourself?
Oh, for adults,
for adults.
I definitely don't wear wigs.
So mostly for juniors, got it. So you you adjust you adjust the way you look and you adjust your technique. So guys, it's very, very important to note that it's very important to adapt to your students' level and their learning capability and their ages. Okay? So just like what John said, if he's teaching adults, he doesn't really wear the wigs. Whereas if he's teaching juniors, then, of course, they want a fun teacher. They want someone who's unique.
Yeah, because not all kids want to be treated like kids. And
that's true.
I've seen a lot of videos from teachers that, they greet the kids like they talk to the kids like they're a stuffed toy. Like, hello, hi, what's
I've seen that. Yeah. Some
so if I was the kid, I'll be like,
that's so true.
This again.
So how do you handle advanced level students?
For advanced level students, there's really a few kids that's really advanced.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to be more witty when it comes to them. And I try to make the lesson more personal, more emotional. Like
you say more emotional, like what do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that?
Okay, let's say the lesson is about true love. Ooh. Then I'll ask them, for you, what is true love? Actually, I have a video of that one. I asked the kid about true love.
Mm-hmm.
What is true love? Is it good or bad? Explain why. And then the student told me, true love is like when you kiss together and then you have a baby.
Oh my God. So you kind of you actually like treat them as kind of like not really adults, but like you ask them mature, like complicated, more complicated questions.
Yeah.
How do you extend? Because like sometimes the materials would be kind of short. So how do you extend, especially when you have a child who's like so curious about everything? Like how do you extend the material?
How do I extend the material? That's quite easy because in every page, just look at every corner of the page. You can talk about the little things, because the lessons are like you focus on the keywords, the sentence patterns, something like that, right? So try to look for other words that you can explain, that you can demonstrate, and even the pictures. Like, what is this dog doing? Why is the old man doing that? Why is he drinking this? Why does he look happy?
Extension questions.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, especially for really good students. So, and just to make everything, I'll talk about my general mindset in every class. Okay, I live by 4 words. This is what I always tell in trainings. In every page, I ask myself, how can I demonstrate this? How can I emphasize this? How can I expand this? How can I exaggerate this? So that's what I always ask myself.
Perfect. Okay, we have a question. So John, how do you handle male students who say you are sexy? I mean, it sounds flattering, but I get thrown off for 29 minutes. And she's asking if you're sitting. Are you sitting? Or are you standing?
I'm standing up.
Oh, okay. I like that. Why do you stand up when you're teaching?
I have a question.
Why do I stand up while I'm teaching? Because standing makes me feel more energetic.
Kind of like more fluid, right?
Yeah. And
I like that.
what do you call this? I can do more things. And I feel more productive when I'm standing up. Yeah, but when I'm tired, I sit down, I rest for a bit, and then stand up again. And for health reasons, because sitting down for many hours affects your heart.
That's true.
Right. And when standing up, how can you do? I'll demonstrate something. How can you do the escalator?
Good.
Okay, how can I do the escalator when I'm standing up? Okay, escalator.
Okay. I like that. But yeah, how do you handle students who tell you you're sexy? Adults. You said adults.
I'm just going to joke around to, go away from that topic. It's like, excuse me, what did you say? Have you eaten your dinner? Because you're seeing things.
Sometimes they're kind of like too forward, Jen. Honestly, like I had a special sessions yesterday, Jen. And I had this like adult student. I don't know how old he is, but I think he's like in college, because he did say that he has to finish like some papers or whatever. And then he goes, "Teacher, you're so cute." And I was like, "Thank you." That's all I did. I just said, "Thank you." And then but he kind of just like, I kind of just brushed it off. I said thank you, and then I moved on. You don't really have to address it, Just be like, "Oh yeah, thanks." I mean, what else am I gonna say? You're cute too. I can't even see you. Focus on your studies, man. How about if you're having a hard time covering the material? So let's say you have 45 minutes, 25 minutes, and you still have like a few pages left. What do you do?
Well, that doesn't happen to me because I manage the time.
There you go, guys. Time management. That's very, very important. Because you don't have to be in that situation if you manage your time wisely. What if your student is late though?
Well, we have to end on time.
There you go.
If they are late. It's like I'm going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, our time is up. Teacher needs to go." I have another.
I like that. I like the fact that you're still very like jolly, telling them that, "Oh, we don't have time anymore." But yeah, I think the key thing, and I really like that you said it, that you mentioned time management. I think it's very, very important to note, guys, that time management is extremely important, because if you don't manage your time well, that's when you can't cover the whole material. Now, it would have been a different case. It would have been a different scenario if the student is extremely late or if there's an IT issue. But just like what John said, we can just be like, we don't have time. Sorry.
Because if the student isn't in the classroom on the 15th minute, we can mark them absent.
Oh, okay. So you can leave the classroom?
Yes. After we
there you go.
mark them absent.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. We gotta wait. We gotta wait for 25 minutes.
Yeah, basically for time management, if the student is really good, that's the time when you should do a lot of, extension, what do you call that? Extension games, questions,
Yes.
demonstrations, etc. But when the student is, a little slow, but good, you can extend on this page and you can make this page quick. Look at the time. If there's 4 minutes left,
I like
then,
that.
rush a bit.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How about for intermediate level students? So, I find that a lot of teachers struggle with intermediate students because you have the lower intermediate and then the upper intermediate. So lower intermediate is kind of still like beginners. And then upper intermediate, they're kind of frustrated because they want to be like advanced level students so badly. Like, how do you handle intermediate students?
How do I handle
what techniques do you employ when it comes to intermediate level students?
For intermediate students, what should I say about this? Okay, because I don't really write down my, what should I do if this student is this level or this level.
So like for example, like you would have let's go for lower intermediate. So lower intermediate students, they've probably been learning English for about maybe 2 to 3 years. So they're frustrated because they can't. They could probably have like simple conversations, but they can't really come up with like full-blown, grammatically correct sentences. They get frustrated because their grammar isn't perfect and they're having a hard time with pronunciation. Like, how do you assure that these students will actually at one point advance to the advanced level? How do you help them?
Again, I think I haven't experienced frustrated students, especially the younger ones. Maybe because we're teachers, right? We want our students to learn. That's definitely our goal, to make them learn. But actually, that's not my main goal. Basically, my main goal is I just want to make them speak.
Right. I like that.
Make them speak. It doesn't matter if they don't get this, because we plant seeds, right? So
right.
It's not going to grow at once. It's not going to register at once.
I like that.
Just make them speak. Challenge them through games, questions. Make them demonstrate. Make them do what you do. For example, you want to talk about the word. What do you call this? Okay, I'm not prepared. Yeah, for example, like throw, right? Throw. I will throw this in front of the webcam.
Right.
How about you, Nikki? Throw.
So you kind of employ the same techniques, and I think you actually nailed it when you said that it's not really as important if they grasp the concept or not, but it's more so just giving them an opportunity to be able to speak. Anne says, how do you handle complaints?
I'm sorry, I haven't had any complaints.
There you go. He hasn't had any complaints. Enough said.
I'm sorry about that. Well, maybe if fix the complaint. Maybe if the complaint says you're speaking too fast, then
maybe you are. Yeah, maybe you are speaking too fast. But the thing is, like, it is what it is. If a student says, okay, the teacher speaks too slow or the teacher speaks too fast, the only thing you can really do is fix it. But, don't take it personally, though, Anne. Don't take it personally, because if you do, you're going to be so miserable, you're going to be depressed, and it's going to affect your teaching for the next, few classes. Because you're going to be thinking about it, and you're going to be like, I don't understand why that student said I speak fast, but I don't. But maybe it's too fast for that student based on their level, based on their age. Hi, Barry, Tawana, and Mina. Okay, now we're done with intermediate. How about beginners? Now, this is probably one of the hardest level to teach, because you would literally have students who can't speak English, like literally no English. How do you keep them engaged, and how do you give them an opportunity to speak in the classroom? Hi, Keith.
Well, when it comes to beginners, the level 0 students, this is the time when I'm really all out when it comes to teaching aids. Because if you think I use teaching aids all the time, that's not true. especially to my regular students because they've probably seen everything already. I use teaching aids to entertain them because my other goal is to make the lesson funny or entertaining yet educational. It's like they don't have time to be frustrated in learning,
Right?
because they're enjoying. They're laughing.
What if they don't understand at all? Like, for example, you're teaching the concept of what do you see? I see an apple, but the student's like, huh? Like, how would you teach that to your students? Like, what are the techniques that you're going to employ in order for that student to be engaged, or for the student to even understand the whole sentence pattern? Listen to this, guys.
Yeah, so I told you I live by 4 words: demonstrate, emphasize, expand, exaggerate. Well, maybe when it comes to this one, I need to exaggerate. I need to do like, for example, what is this, right? What is this?
Or what do you see? What do you see?
Yes, okay. So, for example, Nikki, what do you see? What do you see? I see a mouse. All right. So let's say it's a little kid that will be funny for them.
It catches their attention, right?
Yes. Okay. Nikki, what do you see? A baby.
What if they don't know how to respond to the question? Like, what if they still don't grasp the question? Like what is see? What is see?
That's why I exaggerate, and that's why I exaggerate. I will really show a lot of stuff. I will keep on asking, what do you see? Sometimes I'll put some. Oh no, I can find it. Yeah, I'll use my eyes. Okay, what can you see?
So they know that you meant like see in their eyes. Okay, got it.
What can I see? I see Nikki. I see Nikki.
I like that. So basically, like, what I gather is you focus a lot on like visuals.
Yes.
Lots and lots of visuals because it's technically, I mean, it's easier for them to understand concepts when you have visuals. So the fact that you have that little the glasses, they could visualize. Yeah, TPR. That's right, Myrna. And I think, I mean, the thing is, like, total physical response is extremely important when it comes to like especially beginner students. Even honestly, like even with adults, I use TPR. Do you? Do you use TPR for adults? I do.
For me, if it's a low level adult.
There is a common misconception though when it comes to TPR, because most teachers think that TPR, you have to go crazy, you look like a clown. That's not true. Because when you use total physical response, you will adjust your energy level based on your student. If you have a young student, you'd be like, you'd be so energetic, like John. He's super energetic. Because that's what catches their attention. At the end of the day, you guys have to remember you're competing with like 30,000 teachers, right? You want to be special, you want to be unique, so you have to do your best to employ all of these techniques. Because if your students understand you, they'll keep on coming back to you.
Yeah, and because learning is easier when it's fun, right?
Woo-hoo.
So
that is so true. That is so true. Because if they're not having fun, how's that going to help them? They're going to be like all bored. They're not going to listen to you. And that's why I really liked watching your videos, because, whenever I watch your videos on Instagram and I'm like, this teacher is like really cool and he's really fun. And you could tell that the students are having fun. At the end of the day, I mean, I know like a lot of teachers would say, oh, it shouldn't be like that because it's edutainment. At the end of the day, how do you think these students are learning? Right? Would they just learn from like being strict? I like entertainment. I'm an adult. I love entertainment. That's what I want when I'm learning Korean. Okay, Angel says, when I teach little kids, especially 4 to 5 years old, I use TPR props and I really speak slow and repeat 2 to 3 times and wait for them to reply. Exactly. That's the thing. When it comes to like teaching little kids, like what John said. What did you say a while ago? Demonstration, right? Demonstrate. It's very important. Emphasize, expand, exaggerate. Those are really important, guys. The thing is, like, whenever I teach, like, I have this like 6 techniques that I always employ in my classes. Of course, demonstrate. If you want them to know how to respond to specific questions, demonstrate. What is your name? My name is Nikki. Great job. So they know how to respond to the question. And of course, number 2, total physical response, instructional and educational. Point at your mouth, cup your ear. What is your name? Okay. Speak slow. Angel said speak slow. It's very, very important. Simple language. Very, very important to keep it simple. John, if you're a beginner level student, would you be able to respond to how's your weekend?
How's your weekend? Beginner, definitely not.
Beginner, definitely not. So you guys, you got to be careful. It is a few words. How can you make a gesture for weekend? And then the teacher would be like, weekend, like Saturday, Sunday? No, you don't know? I mean, you can imagine like trying to force your students to like understand the meaning of weekend. It's going to be a disaster. It is hard to explain. So just say, how are you? How are you today? Repetition is very important. I know a lot of students, and I know you mentioned this earlier, John, they're just going to repeat everything because they are beginner students. I repeat everything in Korean. That's how I remember. That's how I remember. Capitalize on repetition because that's how they would remember vocabulary words. And use visuals. John has a lot of visuals. And it's very, very important to use a lot of visuals because, for example, if you're teaching the concept of mom and dad, how are you going to explain mom and dad to your students without using a lot of words?
For a beginner, yeah, that's going to
I just show them a picture. Mom, dad, mom. Mom, because what are you going to say? Mom is the person who gave birth to you. The students will be like, what? Huh? Teacher, what? They're going to be like so confused. So show them a picture.
And dad is the assistant.
Yeah, pretty much. Dad cooks. Dad does the laundry. But that's the thing, and that's why I really like the fact that you have a lot of props because that will really help it, especially for students at the beginner stage, to make it easier for them to understand concepts. And of course, positive correction. They're always going to make a mistake. You got to listen to those errors and then correct them. And just like what John said, demonstrate, expand, exaggerate. Is that right?
Exaggerate, emphasize.
And emphasize. So D-E-E-E-D.
D.
I like that. Demonstrate, exaggerate, emphasize. Say it again. Demonstrate.
Emphasize.
Expand, and exaggerate. Demonstrate. I keep forgetting the next
Emphasize.
one. Emphasize. Exaggerate. Okay. But yes. Now, what other techniques do you employ in your teaching, aside from the props, aside from the energy? What else do you employ in order for the students to keep on coming back to you?
Well, maybe the way I speak. It's like I speak like I'm a game show host.
Okay. Let us hear you. Let us hear you.
Or a voice acting
coach.
Or a voice actor.
I like that. Get examples? Can you show us an example?
Good evening. My name is Teacher John Lucas. What is your name?
So you play around with the tone of your voice. I like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So there you go, guys. Do you have any other techniques aside from like the tone of your voice? Like what other? And I'm assuming you have a lot of regulars too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Candy. How do you make them come back to you?
How do I make them come back to me?
Yeah.
Because I give them a reason to come back.
There you go.
Because I want to change their mindset because I'm sure you already know the Chinese what do you call this culture when it comes to studying, etc. It's like when you ask them, how are you? What did you do today? They will always tell you, I did my homework.
That's true.
So you don't want them to go into class thinking, oh, I have another class. It must be, it's playtime with teacher Nikki.
Yes. Yeah, my teacher John again.
This is my break time, and I'm going to learn during my break time, right?
So you know what? As much as some teachers I know would say, it's entertainment. But you know what? That's how you get students. That's how you make money, right? At the end of the day, it's all about the money, guys. No. Shouldn't say that. But I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want to make money, if you want to make that moolah every single month, you need those students.
This my technique isn't. I'm not saying this is the right way of teaching. There are different types of ways to teach. Just do what works for you. Because I do this because I also want to enjoy while
teaching.
Because I get bored when I just do the typical TPR and just reading and reading. I get bored.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I think that you actually hit the nail on the head. And that's very, very important to note, guys. There is no perfect way on how to teach the students because it's like different strokes for different folks, right? If you don't feel comfortable with a specific technique, you can tweak it, you can modify it to where you're comfortable, just like what John said. If you don't feel comfortable, doing things that are kind of silly or you think is silly, then you don't have to do it. But at the end of the day, you still have to be mindful of your students' learning capability. You still have to be mindful of what they want because they are the clients, they are the students. And if, like I said, if you want to make money, right, you want to make that moolah, you have to satisfy the clients. All right. Anyway, I know you have to go, John. You're going to sing, right?
Questions.
Oh, they're going to be asking you questions. I'm going to tag you in the Facebook Live as well because you're in the group, right?
Yes. But that's
I have, I can't do the personal one. They can't know who you are because Anne is there. And she still wants to know if you're single. I don't know, Anne. So how do you speak to a parent of a young student that had a bad class according to the parent? Ends up telling them to say sorry to the teacher for not doing well, and the student hasn't been the same since then. So I'm guessing like the parent yelled at the student. So basically the mom said to the student, you got to say sorry to the teacher, and then the students kind of like just spaced out.
Well, that's also the beauty, beauty of how I teach classes. It will be awkward. It will be awkward to get mad in front of me. If your child is not doing well, it will be awkward. So, well, if they see their child, enjoying and they hear their child speaking, reading words, that's enough to be a good class for them.
That's true. Sometimes it's like uncontrollable. Some moms would like automatically think that the student's like being rambunctious. Because honestly, I'm that kind of parent. Like whenever I hear my kids like screaming and yelling, I would like literally yell at them and be like, stop fighting. But then they're like, Mom, we're not fighting. We're just talking to each other. I mean, you basically just have to like tell the student that, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You're not in trouble. I'm not mad at you. I mean, what else can you really do? Just relax.
It's not easy to.
Your mom loves you. Your mom loves you. Don't worry.
Yeah. If you have any questions after this, you can just reach me on Facebook.
That crazy fun teacher Facebook page. Just go ahead and like it, guys. And on Instagram, just go ahead and post your Instagram and YouTube handles in the Facebook Live, and you can play the watch party. I'll play the watch party later too, so your friends can see it.
And maybe I can post some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you guys want to apply, you can just message him on that crazy fun teacher. Okay.
Yes.
And that's it. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you for having me.
Bring it back.